Yeah, good afternoon, Alex. See, first of all, we are advising most of our clients to be on the fence. I think the budget is tomorrow. I think it's better that we take a constructive call once the budget is out. We understand all the elements of the budget. But I think one clear theme which is likely to be coming in this budget is the rural India theme. I think one could expect a lot of announcements for the rural sector because this is one sector which has actually suffered a lot. So I think you could look at fast-moving consumer goods. You could look at agrochemicals, fertilizers, anything to do with rural India. Companies which are largely supplying to the rural markets are obviously going to be key beneficiaries. And I think investors should also note that there has been a lot of hype and expectation for sectors like defense, railways. I think here possibly one should not be surprised if some but big announcements don't come out because already a lot of announcements have already come in. So I think rural India related sectors and rural India related companies, Alex, could be better choices. And I think definitely if post the budget as well as even if somebody wants to take a call today, one could definitely chip in. But I think one should take a longer term view because budget is just one instrument. The longer term journey for the capital markets is not going to be governed by just one document. So I think tomorrow let's wait and watch. But hopefully it should be a mix of both growth and populist budget, which I think the market has already largely discounted. Think my guess is see Patel Engineering is one of the market leaders in hydropower projects, and I think it already has an order book of close to about 19 to 20,000 crores, and the management has already given a commentary that in FY25 they are targeting for orders of 25,000 crores. Now, clearly, the payment cycle is long in this business, but typically there are very few companies which operate here, and the government is obviously going to promote hydropower as another element of power, source of power. So I think clearly, visibility is very strong. Plus, the management is very well rooted. They know exactly the business very well. And despite the fact that the managing director unfortunately passed away, it has got a very well laid down management team in place, which I think is confident enough of carrying on the projects in future also. So I think, if somebody were to buy now, one could look at a price target of roughly about 65, 70 within a time frame of at least 8 to 12 months. I think this sector is definitely going to see a lot of action and Patel Engineering is one of the primary players. So I think from a longer term perspective, one can comfortably accumulate, but not with a short term view.
Okay.
If the investor has a 2 year view, Alex, I think hydropower in India is still a very small component, and these companies are extremely profitable. SJVN also made a offering OFS to large institutional investors, and now the stock is held by a lot of institutional as well as PMS and HNI kind of investors. So I think you have to give some time for this stock because now the stock has multiplied significantly from double-digit levels, and I think now the journey will be purely based on the earnings and the order book kind of accretion. So prospects continue to be good. So I think if you have a 2 year view, I think you can continue to hold on. Prospects look pretty promising. Yeah, I think Alex, if you take a slightly medium-term view over the next say 12 to 15 months, I think Reliance has definitely come to an attractive level. In fact, the first quarter numbers for Reliance have also been quite good. My sense is that the geo business is getting scaled up quite strongly. The oil and gas business has also settled down very well, and the retail business continues to do well. So I think now in the very near term there could be no near term triggers, but one thing is very clear that the management is hopeful that by December, possibly there could be a value unlocking for the geo business. The retail business is again lined up. So I think clearly, Reliance should do well over the next couple of years. But I think, if one were to do an SIP even at the current odd level, one could definitely expect a decent upside from these levels. I think you need to have a little patience because Reliance is one stock where, it moves pretty slowly and you need to have a lot of conviction and patience to, make money in this counter. So I would say that you have a long-term view of at least 12 to 18 months. I think you can definitely start accumulating. Yeah, I think Raymond has moved up significantly, and I think if one were to make a call on Raymond, I would suggest that it's better to do a small SIP here because you could get the benefit of averaging. Finally, the lifestyle business is hyped off, but the real estate business and the core business continues to do very well. In fact, I believe the next 2 years are going to be extremely strong for the real estate business, and we are yet to see that get reflected into financial numbers. So I think despite the fact the stock having gone up, now the market is discounting, what kind of revenue and profit the real estate business will throw. Of course, the core business continues to do well. So I think somebody who has got a 2 year kind of time frame can definitely start accumulating, on a SIP kind of route, which can definitely give good returns. But please remember, this is a volatile stock, so you need to give in a time frame of at least 18 to 24 months. I think my guess is, NTPC could be a better choice because
Hmm.
NTPC Green, is keenly awaited, and we all know what is the kind of response for most of the green and renewable energy company IPOs. So it's difficult to take a call whether he would be able to get allotment. But in case NTPC gives some sort of allocation quota to their shareholders to invest in this IPO, that could be a kind of bonanza. Of course, we don't know whether it will happen or whether it will not happen, but on the core business, NTPC continues to do well. Just buying, NTPC for the sake of NTPC Green would not be a good investment decision. So I think if his mind is only for NTPC Green, then I think it's better that he waits for the IPO. But otherwise, NTPC prima facie looks to be an interesting bet in the power generation space, and I think next couple of years, definitely a good decent risk reward can come.
All right, Avinash, there's another question for you. This one's from Vishwanathan Nair, who's writing in from Cochin. Which is a better stock to buy, Geofinance, Poonawalla, or Five Star?
So I think it all depends on what kind of time frame you have in mind. If you have the next 2 to 3 years, then I think Geo Finance looks better. Otherwise, the current momentum, if one wants to play the current momentum, then I think Poonawalla Finance looks quite ideally positioned. It has got a good mix of both SME as well as frontline kind of customers. And most importantly, the book has been growing quite strongly. The asset quality has been maintained well. So I think if somebody has a 12 to 15 month horizon, Poonawalla Finance can definitely do well. We are expecting some rate cuts to happen, so that also could play some sort of benefit to the company. But from a next 2 to 3 year kind of time frame, any correction one should definitely accumulate Geo Finance, because I think this is one company where you're going to see a lot of disruption happening over the next say 2 to 3 years. So I think Geo Finance is slightly longer term, but Poonawalla Finance can fit the bill if somebody wants to take a 12 to 15 month time.